What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Climb Blog. I know it's a Friday. I think it's like Jake Paul and them getting ready to fight, and then it's also Friday night football for schools. People getting ready for college stuff tomorrow. I understand if you're not here, that's okay. Catch the replay and drop a comment when you hit the replay and just put replay, so I know you guys watched it later. Again, on the links in here will always be Digital Liberty Warriors school group. The Wealth Wednesdays group should be getting converted on Sunday night. You guys should be getting emails. You should also be seeing where we closing the Facebook group, all that good stuff. I'll put a bunch of links like posting, so make sure you guys have time to get out of the Facebook group and transfer over. Also, if you're having issues trying to log in or trying to get any classes, there is the direct link. All right, so let's get into it. We call this video terms and conditions error. We're calling it reshuffle the cards error. Okay. Now, first things first, I was going to bring up I think it's the Michigan player that they want to pay $10 million to. Now, many people, there are people in the comments, oh my God, football's over. It's terrible. And I really, truly believe people were okay when they believed these were poor, struggling, little single mom having kids who were just so grateful to play. I just get to put the uniform on. I'm just so happy. And I truly believe that's where we are. People really were happy, like they were giving a kid a treat. See, they get to go to college, Erica, and have an opportunity. And I think, y'all, this is where we got to keep telling people the deck has shifted. The deck has shifted. There's a kid at Michigan right now who is pretty much retired. He's been injured so much that he had to be retired. So they were literally saying, people were like, listen, we got to offer up some money to these kids, because who'd want to come to Michigan after you've seen the quarterback just was knocked unconscious multiple times? And you got to realize these kids start playing sports from 5 years old on up. So they've been getting knocked unconscious for almost 20 years. And then people don't understand why these kids should be paid. It's sick. Every time I see some older boomer saying it's ruining college sports. No, what made you happy is the thought that this kid gets a few years limelight. Some girls like him on campus, and then he has to go struggle in a job somewhere. And that made your heart happy. You're a sicko. You're sick, bro. You need help. That's real sick. So now that Michigan had that terrible issue with their quarterback, who now is done, he can't no longer play. He'll never go to NFL. How do you recruit more kids to come to your school? Now, originally they were going to say, listen, here's a couple $1 million. And now they're like, look, we'll offer you $10 million, because we know what's happening right now in college sports. Billions of dollars are moving around. I've shown you the data on how many people are moving to southern states, how many kids are applying. Literally, I showed you Georgia, 42,000 people applied to a raggedy Georgia college that's down the street in Atlanta. 42,000 applications. The focus is in the South. Right? Exactly. Those parents could barely afford the insurance for their kids. Now they're mad at getting paid. Yeah, you have these people, I remember there was a mom and dad came up, and she was like, the reporter was a white woman. She's like, how hard was it for y'all to get here? And the lady was like, oh, we just took the highway from Louisiana. And it was so funny because you could tell it was a well-to-do Black family looking at her like she's crazy. Girl, we ain't no poor in the project Black people. If you don't get your A up out of my face. And so you have these really sick people who are like, well, Erica, 10 million is more than enough for him. Is 10 million enough for the rest of your life? There are two quarterbacks from Texas right now, and I can't remember that. I think it's something Ash and the other guy. Texas and Vince Young, they've made them ambassadors. They give them like $50K to $100K a year. It's some made up role, because Texas knows those kids have been lifelong damaged by the sport. Lifelong damage, never recovering. The quarterback, when he was done senior year, they were like, yeah, he's retired because he's had too many concussions. He got lost driving to Dallas one time. The police pulled him over and was like, are you all right? He just had got lost and confused. This kid's 20 something. You're telling me he's got to live the rest of his life with this damage? And I comment under some of the comments in sports because I'm really diehard on college sports because the stories. And people are like, "Oh, you're wishing bad luck on these kids." I'm like, "No, I have over 10 family members who played college sports. They're beat up. I've got uncles in their 60s who played college football when you really was knocking each other's heads off, and their backs look crazy." And so, but if you ever talk to these people, "Oh, I have family who play sports." You don't have no family playing no college football. I see these bad built body people talking about they got family members playing football. You don't. You don't. I have a cousin now who's like, "Erica, what should I do about my knees?" And I'm like, "You need to go to Mexico and get stem cells because them knees are just gonna be bad, baby. You played football and you went to Canada and played some more football. Them knees is just gonna be bad. I can give you all the collagen powder pills that you want to take, and it still is not gonna replace your knees." No, Vince was damaged. Vince had concussions. Vince Young had concussions, and he a little slow, can't read. Vince Young was damaged. I don't know why y'all keep believing that these kids that play football from 5 to 20 something years old, they're playing for 20 years of their life, haven't had multiple concussions. Please let that go. I'm pretty sure our cousin has had 2, and he's a defensive player. Right? So people, listen, prime example. People say they want money. What they want is power. How can I find power? With some money. This is the simplest answer, with some money. This is why, Donald Trump winning on the lower levels, everybody's like, "Yeah, you won." And immediately several content creators who, helped him kind of get there was like, "Yeah, now I'm against MAGA." Everybody's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Listen, we just swapped one billionaire for another. My whole fight is for your daughter when she plays sports, your daughter when she goes to the bathroom. These local politicians, these local sheriffs, they're thinking you're now going to take the foot off their neck of what they're supposed to be doing because Trump won." No, the foot's going to stay on the neck, baby. There's a group of people already, creating these YouTube channels where we're making sure they're doing what they say they're going to do. It's already happening. That's why I was laughing, because I said as soon as Trump get there, going to be people like, "Yeah, now y'all really got to do it." And so a lot of people are just insulted by this offer, but I really want to let y'all know, if you can go back and I know it's hard for some people because they have the memories of ants. If you go back and look up Cam Newton daddy telling y'all they paid his son to be there. Now, people offer Cam Newton daddy about 20, 30 grand to shut up and not say that no more. So if you're offering Cam Newton's daddy 20 to 30 grand just to shut up and not say it no more, just to not say it no more, how much you think they offered Cam Newton when they were not supposed to be paying people? How much you think they offered Johnny Manziel when they were not supposed to be paying people? It's just open now, and y'all are disgusted, which you should have been disgusted that they weren't paying the kids before. We're in the era of terms and conditions, and these young people ain't playing with y'all no more. It's terms and conditions. People are used to not getting paid for service. Yeah, listen, let me tell you something. I had somebody do something, and then it didn't go their way. They came back around, "Hey, Erica, can we make a deal?" I was like, "Oh, you want to make a deal now?" Terms and conditions, baby. Terms and conditions. Like I told you before you went and did that, what was gonna happen. Now you know. Right? People want free everything. They get on this internet and think everything's free. It's not free. Right now, I don't like what's happening, but right now few people in Houston are mad about Afrotech. There's 20,000 people there, and they're saying they're not getting access to certain rooms or certain things. And I think it's messy how they went about it, but I'm gonna leave it alone for today. I think at the end of the day, that's a part of business. You don't get access to every room just because I'm over here. I paid $200. I should be over here. Okay, this guy paid $2 grand. This guy's been in tech for 20 years. This guy's invested in venture capital. This dude's invested in tech companies and tech firms. You think you and him should have the same access? That's where this internet has got y'all twisted. It's got y'all thinking you have the same access. Boomer thinking. If I couldn't get it, you shouldn't get it either. You see the price of houses. You see how people acted when they found out Hunter, the Colorado Buffaloes, had a house and his girlfriend was living on a house, but he's still supposed to be at college. You see how salty they are. There's a bunch of people in the comments like, oh, I can't even afford a house, and these football players are buying houses. Duh, that's what they should be doing. Not buying their mama some $3 million house and she can't afford to pay taxes. Duh, that's the point of this NLI money. So these people can at least eat and have some sense. And again, I think Diamond Dave said it the other day is like, don't I guess get yourself out of the market before you learn. Many of these college kids are going to extend their time in college and do 6 and 7 years, because by the time they figure out, oh shit, this money going to be gone. There's no NFL prospects for me. I'm a little too short. I'm a little too overweight. I'm a little too whatever. How can I parlay this to the next thing? That's what I see happening with the Ball brothers, right? All of a sudden, the older brother wants to do a podcast, and it before he was injured again, right? They don't have good ankles. I know their daddy wanted to pick that tall white lady so she could have basketball players, but he needed to check the ankles because the ankles are terrible. Okay. And so out of that family of 3, the youngest brother is going to be the most successful as far as financial contracts or whatever, as long as Charlotte Hornets can put some people around them. But they've been playing basketball for over 20 years. That daddy had them playing basketball for 20 years. So these kids shouldn't be paid in school. Should be paid along the way. It's crazy. They were happy to see young kids out of their bodies on the line while people at the top makes billions of dollars. I'm telling you, even the EA Sports, the games, the fact that Archie Manning gave away $3 million, people were like, look how good Archie Manning is. He comes from a wealthy family. And you think he gave away all the money they gave him? Honey, come on, man. They done gave that kid about $5-6 million. So him giving away $3 million won't nothing but a thing. When I played out, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Yep, 17 years. Yeah. Look at the bright side. At least there's a glimmer of hope. Stem cells in America. Yes, but you got to realize he's going uphill against the conservative right, who are like, those are babies. I told you already. I made it very clear. Erica Williams is going down to Mexico to get the stem cells. Okay. Like, it helps with a million things. You know what I mean? They probably got somewhere where they sell the kid vampire blood too. Nobody pays you to build your own. That part is what they don't like. People want to come inside somebody else's organization and tell them how they're going to run things. Well, I think you should do this, or I think you should talk to people this way. And it's like, are you going to pay me for that? Huh? And again, they already told you, university alumni has told people they would give $1 to $3 million a year to go out and get top ranked quarterbacks, because y'all know how much TV time and money this is. It's big money. So now you got a famous guy saying, I'll give y'all $3 million. This is how the game works. I think with this election, y'all saw it was distasteful to y'all, right? And that's okay. And what you saw is the shift. And what you saw in front of you was the shift of, oh, wait, these elections are bought and paid for? Oh, wait, these campaigns Kamala spent $1 billion and is 20 million in the hole. Trump spent $300 million, only paid the team $10 million and has money left over. As much as y'all trash him, he's a terrible businessman. When you think the money's unlimited, you don't care and you don't treat it with respect. And now what we have is a reckoning. It's terms and conditions error. And y'all not ready to hear that. These schools are jockeying for a wealthy person to be like, I'm so dedicated to this school and the opportunity, to say I'm a University of Texas person, that I'll donate millions of dollars. Because you got some little schools in Mississippi, Alabama, parts of Florida, parts of Georgia, parts of Tennessee, like the historic Black college that used to be in Knoxville. It's gone. Why is stuff gone? They could not get people to buy in and support their product. That's the only problem I see right now with historic Black colleges. One, they're owed hundreds of millions of dollars from the government, multiple schools. They haven't been repaid. And 2, they can't convince their alumni to go put some money. When I saw Dr. Dre put $30 million in UCLA, I said, not UCLA, USC. For what? Who are you trying to get access to in California? It's not about the school. It's not about them putting a curriculum up. You're trying to get access to somebody at that money. But $2 or $3 million put in a historical Black college, they naming buildings after you. So they already told you where their mindset is. They don't care about them people. They don't care about them kids. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Okay. Again, this is Shift. This is a book. I always keep talking about Gary Keller, but I want you to understand what when I talk about it's not the market, right? It's how your business is a combination of defensive and offensive. And I've told y'all this several times called blunt force traffic. And I think y'all get tired of me saying it, but I probably need to trademark it. But blunt force traffic, where if you notice the past 2 or 3 years, you go on Amazon, you go in these places, these people are buying up hundreds of videos of people saying, I love this product, hundreds of reviews. I love this product. This product did this. Why? Because many people, now, no matter how y'all don't want to hear this though, many people do what the herd do. Right? Look at Afrotech. Afrotech got 20,000 people showing up. Where'd that come from? You saw over the pandemic all these remote tech people working from home. You saw these folks doing what? Making big money. Now, when we were in school, they tried to convince you to study math, read, work on computers, and that had no interest to you. Why does it have interest to you now? Because you see these people working remote. You see them having time with their kids. I call it the revenge of the nerds. I call it the shift of 35. No matter what these little people say on these little date naps and dating conversations, they get about 35 and them knees and them back start hurting. Their body starts adjusting. The hairline starts sliding off. And they're like, I'm so valuable now. Yeah, if you have kids and a wife and a family and kids, yeah, for sure. But your value to society when you're a random single person, no. There are events I don't have access to, y'all. Unless I go, hey, here's my partner, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you guys got to come. There is a woman right here in Austin right now who makes good money, does a lot of stuff in real estate. And you know how you get to the party? You're a couple. She don't have random one-offs at her party. She don't have no single men at her party. She don't have single with wealthy men at her party. It's all couples. Why? Because you're going to come to those events and you're going to act like you got some damn sense. Your wife's in the room. Your significant other's in the room. You're not going to be out of control. You're not going to be doing stupid stuff. But a lot of y'all, you're on this internet, letting these internet people convince you of foolishness. But when you really step out here, it's a family game, right? Nobody pays you to build your own. Listen, I promise you, some of y'all over the next 3 years, if you start a website, you pay something. There's a guy I always recommend on this channel, Colin. He does them for like $250. He helps us with the service websites, service business websites. He helps with the SEO on them, all the whole thing for about $250. You start that website, you're sending traffic to it for the next 3 years. You're light years ahead of everybody else. You got Google ads, Google reviews. You've got pictures of your work. You're actively campaigning for your company as much as you campaign for that job. Different type of money, different type of life. Right? It's the terms and conditions. All right. Nobody pays you to build your own. You have to decide it's worth it. And the truth of it is people say, oh, middle-aged people, they're talking about people in their 50s. I want you to understand if the average life expectancy is 76, middle age is 38. So you got middle-aged people online talking about this is the youngest they've ever been. They're young. They're in their prime. Acting goofy online. Baby, what are you talking about? If you don't do a hard next 10 years of growing your business, your finances, you're going to be one of them older people at work with the hurt back, the packed lunch, looking sad. We've shared Colin's info inside of the digital real estate class, inside the school groups, all that. If you're in any of our school groups, Middleman to Millions or Digital Liberty Warriors, you got Colin's information in there. And you're going to be like, Erica, why are you gatekeeping? Because nothing's free. Nothing's free. You already know what time it is. Nothing's free. Okay. Access is given where value is provided, for sure. Right. The terms and conditions they put on Cam when he decided to leave Florida was he couldn't transfer to any other school in the state of Florida. Exactly. Because let's be honest, what happens? People will literally figuratively drive to that area. What is happening in the Pac-12 championships? It's going to be in Arlington, Texas. Now they already told you that the Colorado Buffaloes have secured the second spot. They acting like they don't know who the first Scott school is, and we all know that's BYU, right? BYU. And so who is interested in paying for Deion Sanders tickets versus Utah in Arlington, Texas? A bunch of Texans. Why? Deion Sanders played for where? The Cowboys, right? So the built-in, oh my God, Deion Sanders. Now, who did he just beat? Not even a minute ago, Texas Tech. So people are gonna pay to see those shows, but it's also that quiet rumbling where they're not paying attention to the Colorado Buffaloes like they were last year, and that's the news doing that on purpose, right? They gave them, I would say, billions of dollars in free publicity. When you turned on the news and they said that the Colorado University had over 50,000 new applications, let's do some simple math, right? 50,000 applications times, let's just give a random number for sake of argument. I don't want to look it up. $135 is the application fee and all that. Let's just say that. Times 50,000 people. That's $6.7 million they gained in just student applications. When I told y'all that school in Atlanta, Georgia, got 42,000 applications. Let's say the filing fee was $60. Let's just say easy. That's $2.5 million that school, Atlanta Clark or whatever it's called in Georgia, got off applications. You're talking about $2.5 million. $2.5 million is a budget that holds over most historically Black colleges. So again, when I say Dr. Dre and them and Snoop Dogg are throwing $30 million at schools that don't give a shit about them, and they won't cut a $2 to $3 million check, and already the school gonna name buildings after you, name classes after you, name a day after you. Come on, man. Come on. Let's just simple math here. It's simple math. Okay. So let me get to the other post. I had another one. Terms and conditions. Okay. Where is that? Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. This is Austin. I'm gonna do this because y'all be like, you never talk bad about Austin. You're always saying that Austin's doing so good, and people tell me Austin's doing bad. So I'm gonna read this as a for those who cry and whine all day about Austin and me liking Austin because it's a future mega city. But okay, cool. Let me read this to y'all. A developer from Austin is offering me to buy his houses they just built. 8 of them. They've been sitting on the market for a while. The developer wants out so he can pay the creditors. The property prices Austin continues to fire down. I wish I could help him, but I can't. What he's saying is he ain't got no money. Okay. If they were duplexes, I would consider them, but they're houses. I believe the same will happen in Phoenix. I already told y'all about Phoenix. Y'all about to see what's happening in Phoenix. But it seems like more people are moving to Phoenix than Austin because they're trying to escape where? California. And people are buying expensive properties in Phoenix. Snowbirds are buying expensive properties in Phoenix. People leaving New York and California are buying expensive properties in Phoenix. But let's be very clear. He's not buying the properties because he ain't got the capital. I already know who this is. This is the fourplex guy. Go look him up. It's very popular on social media. And that's the problem with social media. People, you would think, you know what I'm saying? You would think. Let me see if I can find this thing real quick. Fourplex guy Carlos. Carlos. And so long story short, you have to see him on he's got a website called fourplexguy.com. Long story short, he had Harris 2024 in his bio. Sorry. Focus on acquiring, building 2 to 4 unit apartment unit. Currently at 28 doors in the church. Small multifamily consultant. Now, why did I bring that up to y'all? Why did I say he ain't got no money? The average person you're going to run across. Now I'm gonna show y'all this, and this is why y'all gonna get upset. And brace yourselves. I know y'all might not like this. but I'm gonna show it to you because it's important. And there's a reason I use this guy as an example. But already, if you're a parent, and you're gonna get mad or whatever, I understand. But I'm just gonna bring it up here. Okay. Let me see. Hold on, let me see if I'm. Let me. I think if I show this, it's gonna get me in trouble on social media. Oh, shh. See, when I want to do something, people be knowing I'm about to do it. I'm not gonna show it. Relax. Hold on. All right. Anyway, let me take this part of the part down. Okay, so there somebody somebody stole his old website and basically called him a pedo. But that's another conversation. Let me go and show this part. I apologize. Taking so long. Okay, you can see it there. All right, here it is. You can see this. This is the appropriate, not the inappropriate. Get out of here. Real estate developer, investor, 22 units and counting, lover of floorplexes and duplexes, right? Now, if you have a bank that is working with you, and that bank only likes you for you bringing them duplexes, then that's all you can bring them. You bring them something else, they're not gonna cut that money. They're not gonna cut you that money. That's just simple as that. That's one part. Let me go to the next. But when somebody's like, "Oh, I didn't want to buy it because if they were this or that," just say sometimes you ain't got the money. That's okay. That's okay. Here's this also too. If you didn't see this past week, Richard Fain, 3 weeks ago, they're trying to throw me out of my house in my neighborhood. Long story short, he was in his backyard looking at his roof, and a neighbor on the golf course, they're like, "Sir, can I help you?" He's like, "I live here." And he went in the house. Now he stopped himself from going off because that's not his style. But reason I bring that up is this terms and conditions area. Y'all got to start suing some of these HOAs and keep it pushing. Let me go to the other one. Okay, Advanced Auto Parts. Advanced Auto Parts to close hundreds of stores, slash jobs among sluggish demand. Like I told y'all, I've been telling y'all the past 2 years, they're closing 700 stores. The reason I want y'all to understand, the past 2 years, people have been limping. Companies have been limping. They've been trying to hold on. They doing the best they can. They struggling. They essentially are holding, right? And I went and got my windshield wipers. Like today, I had to get some tires done. And I was so pissed because I was there for 2 hours. I felt like my dad. I was like, I will pay X amount of dollars to just sit at my home and the mobile mechanic come to me. All right. I know that's the part that drove me crazy. Like, I don't know why they asked me. Could they help me? Like, sir, what time it is. Quit playing. Okay. Um, and so same thing with AutoZone, right? I went over AutoZone because all of a sudden it started raining in Texas, and my windshield wiper was acting crazy. I'm like, oh man, what the heck? So I know they changed your windshield wiper. So I go in there and it's it's an older man who gonna be flirty because that's just what older men do sometimes. And then there was a younger guy, and he won't do nothing. So I said, hey man, I need my windshield wipers. He's like, oh, okay. So he goes and he's like, and he looks so sad. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, I just hate doing windshield wipers. I really want to tell him, I don't care. That's the only reason I stopped at AutoZone and passed 4 other places is because y'all do the windshield wiper for me. That's a part of the service. Like, duh. So what happens is you have all these AutoZones that are filled now with, they still got the old guy that works in there, but they usually have a younger guy who's not as enthused, doesn't want to do the work. It is what it is. And you also have people who are not as used to, let me learn how to do something off YouTube. Let me replace the car parts myself. Let me try it myself, right? Because that's just how people are, right? And so Advanced auto parts is going to have issues. They're going to be sluggish. And so in this moment, what can you do as a person to benefit off this? Right? If you're smart, a couple years ago, I did a video, maybe 7 years ago. Let me not say a couple years. And it was two brothers in the Dodge factory where they were at closed. And they immediately went and rented a warehouse and supplied a bunch of parts. Now, this is during, was this 2018 or 2019? No, this is 2019. It was right before the pandemic. And so they had all these parts. And so when people needed parts during the pandemic and couldn't get parts from overseas because of what? Shipping delays, who became multi-millionaires in Raleigh, North Carolina? The brothers, who one brother had Ford parts in his warehouse and the other brother had Dodge parts in his warehouse. Anybody who works at Advanced Auto Parts, if they're smart or they have a nice fat credit card or they have some money put away, they will put some money into what? Housing parts that they know are repeatedly purchased. 700 stores closing, there will be excess parts. There will be wholesale prices provided. Right? If you're in an area where they're doing a liquidation, trust me, they'll do some type of liquidation here. Right? Now, their gross profits increased 11% this third quarter this year. All right? And 36% increase last year's third quarter. Now, why are they letting all these stores go? What do they see that we don't see? I really want you to understand, what do they see that we don't see? Because their headquarters is in Raleigh. There are over 1,127 independently owned CarQuest brand stores. Right? They're in the Caribbean, the islands. They announced the sale of Worldpac for $1.5 billion. So they got all this money, right? They're selling stuff. They're liquidating stuff. What do they see that we don't see? Right? Now they're closing 523 corporate stores and 204 independent locations and shut down 4 distribution centers. I'm just telling you, what do they see that we don't see? And to me, I think you have a reshuffling of the deck happening in many industries, and they're going to blame it on, well, Donald Trump came in and the tariffs, because the tariffs. Nah, these stores got inventory. These warehouses have inventory. They're seeing the economy is going to be rough for certain groups of people. Right? For certain groups of people. Ain't nothing advanced about AutoZone part. They don't even have a jingle like O'Reilly. Exactly. Like, I'm just telling you, like O'Reilly's Auto Parts. I mean, you already know. You can say it as soon as he said it. You know O'Reilly's, right? O'Reilly spends money on the commercials because they need you to stop before you get to your house. Because they know if you go home, you're gonna order something online. Now, here is iHeartRadio. And again, I want you to understand, when I talk about shifts in the economy, what does your business do? Who's in charge of your sales department? Let me tell you something. I put, this is just disclosure. I put X amount of money down for deposit for season tickets with two or three sports teams. Their salesperson has called me no less than once every day for like 45 days in a row until the season started. Every day, voicemail without fail, email every day. Hey, just make sure you're gonna come to the thing where you can book your seats for the season tickets. I'm like, okay, I know, I got the deposit. I'm cool. Every day for 45 days in a row, except for weekends. Every day. That's what their salesperson did. Till I did what? Purchase season tickets. Texas, I had a deposit down for season tickets over here. What did they do? They email me every other day, just making sure you're ready. You got to get on here and log in so you can pick your season ticket. I'm like, okay, I see it. I hear you. Right? So same thing happened and a few other things, but what are most people's sales teams doing? They have to make sales. They have to do what? Help the customer finish the conversion. That's what they have to do. They have to make sure the sales completes the conversion. So this is iHeartMedia. iHeartMedia cuts continue to grow. Now, what is iHeartMedia doing? This may be the biggest round of iHeartMedia cuts since 2020. Massive cuts are underway. All right. They even have an iHeartMedia, concert, award ceremony. Again, they're doing a corporate reconstruction. What does that mean? They're shuffling the deck. They've been moving more towards regionalized operations at the market management level, which we're told are affecting promotions and sales teams. Most day-to-day programming of stations are moving towards national programming teams. Now, why did people originally like iHeartMedia? You could have regional stuff. Back in the day, 1950s, 60s, 70s, you had all this 80s, you had regional media, local radio stations. You had diversity in the music playing. But as you start having these people buy up all these national radio stations, all right? When you had what's that fat man that died that was tripping all the time? The Republican guy. Y'all know what I'm talking about? What's his name? That was on them pills. I done forgot his name just that fast. Oh Lord. Oh man, what's his name? Dang. Y'all know the big white guy I'm talking about that used to be on them pills? Died. Limbaugh. There you go. Limbaugh. Okay, yeah, Fat Man Scoop also died. That is also sad. Limbaugh, right? So what he did is he went and bought all these. Where's Limbaugh? He bought all these radio stations in the middle of nowhere, little farm towns, little nowhere spots, and because it was cheap and you could buy the ad space and you could run your videos there, run your program through it. And so what happened is other people paid attention because at some point, Rush Limbaugh was played in more places than the average radio DJ, right? Same thing I just talked about Tom Joyner. Tom Joyner raised millions of dollars for historically black colleges, every single one of them, because he'd be like, this month, we're focused on blah, 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 HBCU. And people would donate because he was talking to who? He was talking to black boomers. And he would say, this helps these historically black colleges stay open. And if we don't do it, nobody will. They can't raise any money. And Tom Joyner was very powerful, but Tom Joyner did what? The most goofy thing you can do. Start selling the percentages of the rights of your show. When people get greedy for lump sum payouts so they can hang out and sit around basketball courts and look cool and drive cars, and they 50s and 60s have midlife crises, they lose their power. Now, when Rush Limbaugh died, there's a lady who took his place. The Dana. I'm struggling today. I apologize. Dana took over the slots. Now, Dana had to sit for a while under Glenn Beck, and people were like, "Who's going to take all these spots Rush Limbaugh left open?" Because they're still playing some of his replays in some areas, and Dana ended up taking those spots. And so now her show's played in all these places that you never heard of, right? Little towns that you drive past, flyover country, and it's making that person real money. Real Dana homo. What? So all that to say, iHeartRadio basically trying to go to a model against what they originally came out to do is silly. But here they are. Albany, New York, Baltimore, they're cutting people. After 5 years, Birmingham, Boston, they cutting you. They're cutting multiple people. They're cutting people in Chicago. They're cutting people in whatever that is, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Right? Bill Square departs as the co-host. Dallas, they're cutting multiple people in Dallas. They're cutting Dayton, Ohio, Denver, Des Moines, Iowa, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Right? Been out there since 2012. Fort Collins, Colorado, Honolulu, Houston, Texas, The Buzz. They're also cutting the sports talk show, right? Little Rock, right? We can keep going. Miami, Milwaukee, New York, they're coming through. They're cutting everybody. Milwaukee, Orlando, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Raleigh, Salt Lake City. Like, I know this might be boring to y'all as I'm reading this, but Joe Pagliano, they're cutting him in San Antonio. Joe Pags is one of those people who was trying to get up in those ranks. Been on that show for 19 years. 19 years holding that radio spot. Now y'all may think, Erica, who's out here listening to radio? We're all listening to YouTube, Seattle, Tampa, all these places. We can go over and all these, but who's listening to that? We're listening to YouTube. Increasingly more people are listening to podcasts. Something I want you guys to look up is those Sunday, they have these radio shows, right? And this guy's out in Long Island, New York or whatever, but they have these Sunday radio shows that are clearly paid for time. And essentially on those Sunday radio shows, they're trying to do what? They're trying to market people to do what? Invest in real estate with them. Invest in real estate with them. And so they're buying those time slots, layoffs and coolers. That's right. So the reshuffling of the deck is happening, right? You think you're going to be a news organization and you get paid all this money? Not unless you bring in money. Not unless you bring in money. So this is Joe Pags. Again, radio DJ, 400,000 on Instagram, right? He looks way older now. He's getting older. He used to be a good looking Italian man. I don't know what happened to him. Getting old man, the geriatric, looking older. You need that TRT or something. But anyway, long story short, Joe Pag, that's his thing. But I still hear him on the radio here locally. So maybe it's just for San Antonio. I don't know. The reason I bring all this up is the board is shuffling. How are you getting out to people? How are you connecting to people? How are you getting on TV? For whatever y'all will say, Anton Daniels is on Fox News. I know, y'all hating it. Oh yes, AM radio is very much all investment talk. It's all investment talk. And so these people, even if they use YouTube, they get to those older people via AM radio, AM weekend radio, or people are golfing. And it just is what it is. But there's a shuffling of the deck happening, and a lot of people aren't paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, or you're not ready to bend and ebb and flow, and if you have some type of business, like right now, this guy was saying he's only 31. He's like, I'm too old to do content. I was like, wait a minute, what? And he basically said, I pay people now because they'll have a fresh ideal. At 19 to 25, they've got some fresh idea on how to do content. They're listening to some music I'm not listening to. They're doing things I'm not doing. And I agree. I'm willing to go ahead and pay $100 to $300 to $400 to some young person who can come up with ideas, because I'm like, okay, I totally get what you're saying. I understand what's happening. It's a change of the guard. And many people aren't ready for that change of the guard. And they're not ready for this conversation. Like, again, I show these guys all the time, and I know y'all get tired of me showing them as an example, but this is just to give you the example on financial. Younger people in financial. These guys right here, the compound. And just going to say it, they have these Long Island, New York frat boy voices that sound like they've never been in corporate America, even though they have for a while. And they can reach people who are looking for something different, less stuffy, right? And he was joking to him about the bookshelf, and he was like, oh yeah, that's because of, basically it's for aesthetics, it's for YouTube, right? But they have this show, and they're marketing shares and different, all this different stuff. And I think what people don't realize is people under 25, they really have no desire to, and let's even go there, people under 30 have no desire to sit in the office for 20, 30 years because they don't see where it benefits them. So they're more open to hear you about crypto. They're more open to hear you about buying multifamily real estate and building new construction developments. They're more open to hearing about, well, how can I buy some of these businesses off these boomers? How can I make products that I sell online? Even now, where if you're in my Digital Liberty Warriors group, you see me talking, and I think on Saturday we'll have it again. We're building out 10 products. So we're really just spending time, like, make sure the product's pretty, make sure we get it on Amazon, make sure the labels are on correctly, make sure things ship out on time. And it's really the reviews and the testimonials come from people that, one, don't look like me, and two, some of this is bought and paid for. You're literally buying UGC videos. Because the young people are like, if I'm going to be on my phone all day, or I'm going to be creating content, I'm going to get paid for it. So you're going to see these younger people making 100 to, 300,000 a year. But they're still going to need financial education on other than what Dave Ramsey may say. Dave Ramsey, in my opinion, is for people who've already jumped up, they got married, they got kids, they're neck eyeballs full of debt between their house, their property taxes, and now they're like, oh, we probably should get debt free. Right? So you're having the Robert Kiyosaki versus the Dave Ramsey approach. Because Dave Ramsey get old and he's talking about retiring. And I think I showed y'all the video where Dave Ramsey was making sure 78% of the revenue his company makes isn't from Dave Ramsey anymore. I think I showed that here. If I didn't, let me know. But essentially, he was like, I didn't want to dump it all on my daughter. And I told y'all he wanted to use Hogan forever. But he made sure that 78% of the money that comes in every year now isn't off him. Right? He's still sitting on the chair. He's still there. He's still kind of doing everything that needs to be done. But that's how you change the guard. And it's happening right in front of your face. He's done brought in 4 or 5, 6 different, people to kind of like come in and kind of do a dance and distract you, and they're younger, right? Same thing with the compound here. They have a couple young people on staff. There's another podcast I really like that are the guy's an older guy who's multimillionaire and he's crackety, he's crotchety. And he has this young 23-year-old guy on. He'll ask him, what do you think about this? And the guy tells him, oh, this, that, right? This, that. This is what's happening. This is what I see with people my age. And that's the changing of the guard happening. So we're in a terms and conditions era. And so people that are in these bad deals, real estate or otherwise, or companies, you're going to have to be flexible in terms, right? You're going to have to realize no one is going to, which one? It might've been that one. Let me see. It might've been that one. But essentially it was like, he's making sure 78% of the revenue that comes into the company is not him. It's not him. Right? This was what I was trying to show y'all, the debt restructuring. Hold on. For iHeartMedia real quick. And so you have people having to restructure. And so I always say, apply that to your own life. Okay. Bloomberg reports that iHeartMedia has begun talks with a group of lenders, including Pacific Investment Management Company, to attempt to restructure debt payments coming due May 2026. So you see, they done laid all these people off a year in advance. Well, really 6 months in advance, right? iHeartMedia creditors have retained financial advisor Evercore and law firm Milbank to advise them. The early report noted that iHeart current $5.2 billion of debt and $1.8 billion loan term that's due in 2026. That's why they're firing people. While $800 million at 6.3% note matures in 2026. The new report states that iHeart continues to face pressure from ad revenue declines. Multiple creditor groups have been created to fight over the money owed them to ensure their share. Now, what happens? That means that is like a zombie. Okay. But you still can make money off what? A zombie. How would you make money off a zombie? Right now, if I was an advertiser, I would have out some long written thing to overly get radio play for the next 6 months. I would arm twist their sales team. If I was, Carvana, CarMax, any of these big name people, any TV show, any movie deal, I would be arm twisting their sales staff. Right? I would just be arm twisting their sales staff. Oh, I really need it for the next 6 months. Right? And this opens the door for opportunity. Right? Because now if I'm on their sales team, every hour of the day that you can cram ads somewhere, you guys should be offering some type of discount. I remember, I think I shared it with you guys here before. There was a website that was like the leftover ad spots. And it was like for $5,000, you can get played in like 195 cities. But it was all these little nowhere places that Rush Limbaugh, is on the radio, and all these places that were just, they just didn't sell all their ad space. Why not? So you have to realize, why couldn't they sell the ad space? Is it the town? Is it the area? Is it revenue? Why couldn't they sell the ad space? It's something you have to ask yourself. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I find it real quick. Oh, okay, yeah, here it is. I think I played this for y'all, but we'll do it again just for sake of argument.
Hiring soon.
You did.
I did.
When we started, it was like, okay, I'm producing all the revenue. And so if I die today, what happens to all these employees? Well, they're screwed. And we said, okay, we need to measure non-Dave revenue. It's very hard to find somebody who's done a brand transfer like ours. Paul Harvey Jr. very seldom can take Paul Harvey's seat. But we did figure out a one-to-many had a chance. I didn't put the whole thing on my daughter, Rachel Cruz's shoulders. We have now raised up a George Camel and a Jade Warshaw and a Ken Coleman. So if Rachel is going and doing a book, that's non-Dave revenue. Or if Ken Coleman goes and speaks somewhere, that speaking fee is a non-Dave revenue, right? We wanted it to be a 50% of the revenue was not mine. And the great news is that in 2023, we're at about 78%.
No way.
If I'm not here. We built the business models out in such a way that it's not Dave dependent to continue to run. For instance, our high school curriculum is a $15, $20 million business. They don't care if I'm alive or not.
We've heard some news that you are considering.
Wait. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear about that high school curriculum? If you heard that, put a 1 in the comments. Did you hear just the high school curriculum? And the reason I bring that up as a point is they make $15 to $20 million off high school curriculum. What can Dave Ramsey do in the next 5 years? What can Dave Ramsey do in the next 5 years as he's supposedly retired? Getting that high school curriculum, right? Getting that high school curriculum in what? 5, 10, 15 states, right? The next 5 to 10 years, all Dave Ramsey's staff need to be doing is convincing congressmen to put that curriculum. Like, you see how bad the economy is? Do you see how bad finances is? You know, who does he need to convince in the Trump office, in some congressmen's lobbyists, because they've convinced most of Tennessee, right? They've got thousands of churches doing the money makeover, right? They've got thousands of churches doing the money makeover. So who do they need to convince in multiple states to do what? Put that education plan in place for teenagers. That's all the company needs to do. They just get 5 more states. They're getting 15 to 20 million off one state, which I'm pretty sure is Tennessee, and they can get 5 more states. That's $100 million company, retired Dave Ramsey and all. So think about that. We don't even need him here. We don't even need him here. Right? So you got to think about that. That's one of the big things I'll be trying to tell people. I'm like, how does your company make money with or without you? Does it make money with or without you? So, anyway. So long story short, I'm not going to go too crazy into the rabbit hole on that, but I just want y'all to understand, like, there's definitely a shift as far as funding, financing, and building projects. And there's a lot of deals that are going to come up, but you have to just determine where you're at in the cycle. So for those who are my digital liberty warriors, building out products, white label products, which I'll show and talk more about in our training, consistently does that. If you're in Well Wednesdays, once we get transferred over to school, you'll see how we're talking about multiple of these cities in Texas, how you're just reading the economic development plan. That's why when people talk about, oh, look at the houses falling and this and that, that just helps bring in cheap labor. That just helps convince somebody who was in California or New York who are going to leave anyway, come to your city in Texas. I've told y'all in the next couple of years, you're going to start seeing companies in multiple states go, oh, we're tax-free, like Florida. The only way they're going to be able to compete with Florida is by saying, oh, we also are going to do zero tax. You're going to start seeing it. You're going to start seeing, there's going to be 1 or 2 more states that all of a sudden pop up and go, we are also like Florida. We're going to just cut the sales tax. We're going to cut it. No income tax. And why are they going to do that? Because they know the marketing for lowering your taxes is going to be so great after these 4 years with Trump. So many retirees are going to be looking for somewhere to retire, somewhere to adjust their tax bill. I just saw somebody comment in this group about their tax bill in this part near Dallas was $14,000 for the year. Now, immediately people are going to give them okay, you need to do this. You need to, homestead exemption. You need to do this. And I know what it is. It's the area they're in changed from a farm area to a giant city overnight. And the government wants his money back. It's like, we didn't charge this area because it was a whole farm. It was thousands of acres of farm, right? But what's going to happen is everybody is starting to see in the comments where people are like, you need to create a home business. You need to create a home business. You need to write off a portion of your house. You need to build an ADU in the backyard. You need to do this. Like, you started seeing the comments that made financial sense come into the chat. Because I told y'all, one of the reasons when somebody showed me this property near Chicago, it's so cheap. It's so cheap. I was like, $14,000 in taxes on this duplex near Chicago? That's literally $1,000+ a month in taxes. I cannot justify that, right? Missouri be the last state to hold out, probably. But this is how you'll see this going. This will be what will come next. States going, we're no income tax. Come join us. The marketing for football in Texas and the low taxes, same with football and no taxes in Florida. Is beautiful to retirees. It's beautiful to young families because the young family moves. They have this, look at this small town feel. I got a big old house in Texas. My kids playing football in this big old school. And my grandparent, my mother-in-law moved down and she's down the street in a cheap house and she pays no retirement, no taxes on her retirement. It's wonderful. But what these people are eventually going to start seeing is I need to do what? Either create some type of LLC. I need to get some tax write-offs. I need to start some type of business. Right, all these moms that people make fun of for starting these MLMs and these little projects, but they're looking for a way to make more income without having to go to work, without to burden the husband, and still have time with the kids. And so, if you're in my Digital Liberty Warriors, you'll see how I'm building out these 10 products, and it's not just all supplements, but some of it is like hair care related. And I just tell you, pay attention to what other wealthy people are doing. I'm not doing this in a vacuum, right? Oh, for sure. Ant Dog, just look for new construction. Look for new construction where they can offer $1,000 down, 17 grand in on your closing payments, and get in a good area. And then if you're there for a year and a half and the property really, appreciates 30, 50, 60 grand, you can move across town. You can sell it and move across town. There's a lot of that going on. Let me see if I can find this real quick for y'all, and then we'll wrap this up. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. Maybe. Dang. I thought I could find it real quick for y'all. It might not happen. Dang. Okay, here. Okay. I can show this one. I feel you. Listen. Get in where you can fit in. Get in where you can fit in. Here we go. Let me see. So this is Max Maxwell, right? And you can see here. Hey, Dirt. Again, what is Hey Dirt? This is one of the, if you go back and watch one of the interviews he did, he talked about how, and again, this is his wife. She's having some issues with her hair. She cut all her hair off. I don't know what that's about. Don't care. Not my business. Hopefully she's okay health-wise. Hey Dirt. I hope that's what's showing on the screen. Is that what's showing on the screen? No, it's not. Hold on a second. Let me try again. Okay. You need that Alaska salmon link. Man, I showed that Alaska salmon link so many times and posted it so many places. But I will post it in the community wall again. So this is Hey Dirt, right? Again, this is the warehouse they have. Pay attention. Listen to what I'm saying.
And I'm going to show you guys how we pack and ship it. But before we do,
let's show them what the warehouse looks like. Come on.
Let's go.
So this is where we receive the orders when they come in, like this area right here. This is the bulk section. So all of this here is bulk. So everything that comes in gets put here according to its barcode. So every single one of these columns are barcoded. Now these are our shower heads Naira. We have our 3 colors that are our first colors that came out. These are hard to keep in stock. So these will come and these are going to go out fast. Go fast.
Fast. And this warehouse is 8,500 square feet.
They take you to this area called the picking area.
Picking area. He's ready to work.
So the orders come in on an iPad.
Yes.
And then the iPad, we scan this tote and whatever is in this order number goes into this box. Somebody orders face towels, it goes inside that tote. These are our face towels, our cleansing face towels.
Which I love.
Or a Maze Vault t-shirt,
Lentex soda.
repping all the time.
We're wearing it now.
Don't forget the Mama Wafa cookbook.
Yay. We literally pack and ship everything ourselves. We don't use any like
Third-party logistics.
Third-party logistics. Everything is done in-house. And because Hey Dirt has to be stored in cool temperature, we have a cold storage zone just for Hey Dirt. All the inventory, it goes all the way back as well for Hey Dirt. So back to packing the Hey Dirt order. We're gonna take the box out of the cold storage, pack it, and let's ship it together. Let's go.
Okay. I can only take so much. I can only take so much. All right. I can only take so much. I love her, but I can't. For sure. Thank you. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I like being your own Sears with a digital catalog for sure. So there is a combination. Okay. There's a combination of digital liberty warriors where I want you to have a digital side for sure. But there's also a part of digital liberty warriors where I'm going to talk about products and private labeling. Why did I show this video? I wanted to show the hair shower head. If you know, and if you pay attention, look how many people are moving to Texas. Look how many people are moving to Florida. Look how many are moving to Arizona. And what's the number one complaint? The hard water. The water's hard. I need a water softener, right? What people don't realize is you talk about the water, even if you're in Ohio, Detroit, New York, the water has all this chemicals in it, right? You're getting tap water poured over your body. So if you haven't paid attention in the marketplace, shower heads or diffusers or charcoal filter cleaner shower heads are all the rage. Why? Your wife, your teenage daughter, people in your family are buying them because they're seeing nonstop marketing and nonstop videos of such. So that's why I brought this up. And I just want y'all to understand, like, it doesn't take a lot to come up with 2 or 3 or 10 products that you can either have half of them at Amazon or half at your own warehouse. So when you have them at your own warehouse, you make a lot more money, but you also get a little bit more headache because you'll have to ebb and flow with the staff. Max Tuning had his Hershey chocolate just came and acquired his sour strips. Another person I always try to show you is Nick Bayer, huge supplement company here in Austin, Texas. They're moving into an 80,000 square foot warehouse, brand new. They keep moving warehouses. They keep growing. He tried to get out with private equity, or a percentage get out with private equity earlier in the year, and it didn't work for whatever reasons. And that's okay. But he came back and is now more reinvested. And so I just want you to understand, you want to have a $40-60 million, product-based company. You don't have to. If you paid attention, Max Maxwell started talking about the Hey Dirt in the shower head, but you don't need to, right? You literally can pay a bunch of UGC creators to make videos for you. And now every girl is like, I love the way her hair looks. Like, I have a hair product that I want to put out because of some of the stuff that's happened in the, hair business. But it's only just one aspect of it, right? And I definitely want to promote it But I already know, I've already told like 2 of the people that were coming with the ideal with me, I'm like, we're going to have to find like 1,000 girls to do videos. We're going to have to like go dig into the internet for all these girls and pay for all these videos just to have this nonstop revenue. I don't know if y'all remember Dana Chanel and all their trouble they were going through. Once she made that hair care company make $6 to $7 million, they didn't care about nothing. She didn't have to make no more commercials. She just went home with them babies. I don't think y'all understand that even if you make money here on YouTube or in the video format or in real estate, there's a long-term money you can make. Even if you look at Alpha M, his channel now, that's completely what that's about, is him having this money via, he makes $5 million a year with the warehouse. Who, like the person I was thinking of is Anton Daniels always talks about whatever that Pete and Pedro, right? Pete and Pedro. But it comes from this guy talking about him creating white label products. And so that's why I told people I'll talk more about white label. But he started as a, you know, you look at his channel. Am I showing it? I'm not even showing it. Lordy, I'm trying to wrap this up, but Alpha Empire. So he started it with this dressing channel where it was like all about how to wear tux because you're short. He's 5'5" or whatever, 5'6" or whatever. And it's like how to wear tux and how to wear colognes. Okay, Teach Hanley is all about hair. Pete and Pedro, right? Pete and Pedro is like the smell goods. I think Teach Hanley is the hair. And so him making, you know, millions of dollars off of those products from his warehouse, he doesn't have to like his YouTube channel is great. It's fun. He enjoys doing it. That's why he talks about, he also bought this other place, this Italian place. He invested in it. And a couple other things, but that's what I want you to understand is like, the goal isn't, if you see right there, his warehouse in the background. The goal isn't to,
hey honey, so I asked,
let me have millions of, and again, he's showing these multiple houses he's built. The goal isn't to have, you know, millions of YouTube videos forever. The goal is to take that money and invest it. Okay, is invest it and have ongoing reoccurring products. So yeah, don't do what the pink sauce lady do. Oh my God, that's a whole nother conversation. So anyway, I just showed that to you because again, his warehouse is only 3,000 square feet. So you don't have to have this massive warehouse, but you just have to be paying attention enough to see where the shift is happening. And where some of these YouTubers that are older, they've been on, they can afford almost these fancy cameras, these really expensive sets. They don't have to. They can adjust and move a little bit as they please. So we'll talk more about that in Digital Liberty Warriors group and Middleman to Millions. There's supposed to be a roofing conference I go to coming up in December. If I can make it, we will do all kind of commentary. But I'm also going through another training for insurance that I will share in the Middleman to Millions here in a little bit. But y'all got to get ready. People are in an emotional feeling of, oh my God, Trump won. It's going to be so great, yada, yada, yada. But they're also not paying attention to the writing on the wall that many of you are. Is like, some of these people have been holding on for so long, they can't hold on anymore. So they have to sell the house. They have to sell some things. They have to liquidate. They have to get a new deal. They have to get a new job. They have to go work for somebody else. They've been in management all their life, and now they're in their 50s, and they have to go do something else. So just pay attention to the writing on the wall if you are, because the reshuffle the cards era is officially here. So this is your girl, Erica, Classic Clown Blog. Thank you guys so much for coming on the channel, watching me, supporting the business, all that good stuff. You guys have a wonderful evening, and links will be posted in the video below, and I'll even put that salmon link out there too. All right, you guys enjoy your Friday. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance. And guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done. And that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams.